We've probably all seen a TV show or a movie where someone receives very bad news and then they start making promises or vows that, if only things will change and go their way, then they'll give money to this or they'll change their life in a certain way. And, it usually never goes very favorably for that individual. However, when we read in the book of Ecclesiastes, we read a little bit about the caution someone needs to take when making promises and what the Bible calls vows. In fact, in Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 4, Solomon writes, "When you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it, for he has no pleasure in fools. For pay what you have vowed, better not to vow than to vow and not pay." And we see here that Solomon is saying that obviously we must be careful about the words that we use. And when he talks about vows on this occasion, he's saying that there are two kinds of things to avoid. First of all, there's the person who makes a vow but he doesn't mean it, but also there's the person who makes a vow and he has absolutely no intention of keeping it. He goes on to say, "Do not let your mouth cause your flesh to sin, nor say before the messenger of God that it was an error." In other words, taking that Old Testament context, the messenger of God perhaps being a priest, and appearing before that priest with that vow, or the priest, perhaps inquiring about you concerning the vow, well, you just say, "That was an error. That was a mistake. I really didn't mean it." Why should God be angry at your excuse and destroy the work of your hands? He concludes this little discussion by saying, "For in the multitude of dreams and many words, there is also vanity, but fear God." In other words, don't live in a dream world. Don't live in some kind of fantasy world where you can just use your words to get your way anytime you want and equate your words with actual action, because you've got to back up your words with true action. And when you fail to do that, you're making rash promises. You're becoming what the Bible calls here a fool, and God will be upset about that. The text ends here by using these three words, but, instead of what? But fear God. Fear God. In other words, when we make a promise, you can call it a vow if you want to. When we make a promise, we need to be a person of our word. We need to be a person of integrity. We need to mean what we say, and we need to follow up with action, because we fear God.